Why do so many people look away from the shattered lives right on San Diego's sidewalks, where homelessness wears down dignity a little more every single day? This crisis has dug deep into the fabric of the city, tearing through the lives of families, veterans, and seniors alike. Recent numbers show a small drop in homelessness across both the city and the county, but thousands are still slipping into hardship faster than the system can catch them.
Do you feel safe in a shelter?
I feel safer in the street.
And why is that?
I have more room, and I just don't feel. I don't see the security there. I've seen fights there.
This isn't some distant story. It's the real raw struggle of people living at the breaking point, tangled up in economic pressure gaps in mental health care, and a culture that too often shrugs and moves on. It's all part of a bigger reality. Homeless in America is no longer something we can afford to ignore. The social challenges linked to homelessness. How does the lack of stable housing ripple outward, creating problems that touch every part of a community and demand more understanding, empathy, and action? In San Diego, homelessness isn't just about needing a bed for the night. It's woven into broader social issues that show why education, prevention, and compassionate support are essential if we want healthier communities for everyone. Recent data from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness offers a glimmer of progress overall. Homelessness in San Diego County dropped by about 7%, down to 9,905 people in 2025. But even that step forward highlights how much more needs to be done, especially around substance use, safety, and mental health. These aren't separate problems, they're all connected. By investing in awareness and resources, we can stop some of these issues from snowballing and create spaces where more people have a real chance to get back on their feet. Substance use often appears as a way to cope with the stress and trauma of living without a stable home. It underscores how important it is to teach early on about the long-term impact of drugs on health relationships and community life. Roughly 37% of people experiencing homelessness in California report regular substance use. That number isn't just a stat, it's a warning sign that prevention programs, counseling, and support can play a huge role in helping people choose healthier ways to deal with pain and uncertainty. In neighborhoods like East Village and around Balboa Park, where public substance use is more visible, local outreach teams are stepping in, offering education, harm reduction, and paths to treatment. Their work doesn't just support individuals, it helps build safer, more connected neighborhoods for everyone. Safety concerns, including theft conflicts or tense encounters in or near encampments, don't come out of nowhere. They're often the product of unmet needs and constant survival pressure, not some fixed trait of people without housing. After the Supreme Court's June 2024 decision that allowed cities to enforce stricter rules in public spaces, citations and enforcement went up. That shift presents a choice: will we simply punish? Or will we pair enforcement with education, teaching, conflict resolution, connecting people to services, and making sure public spaces are safe and humane? Fires caused by makeshift stoves, candles, or unsafe setups, over 100 incidents reported in San Diego in 2024, show how urgent it is to provide fire safety education and safer alternatives. Protecting lives and neighborhoods starts with information tools and options, not just crackdowns. And that raises a key question: what community-driven strategies could expand safety education and prevent these risks before they explode? Mental health support is a cornerstone of any real solution. The stress of unstable housing can magnify anxiety, depression, and other mental health challenges, making integrated care absolutely essential. Roughly 66% of people experiencing homelessness in California are believed to be navigating some kind of mental health condition. That's a powerful reminder of how crucial accessible counseling, peer support, and wellness programs truly are. For people living in vehicles, a group that has grown by 7% targeted outreach can help establish routines, connect them with services, and ease the path towards stability. There has been real progress with families unsheltered. Family homelessness has dropped by about 72%, and that momentum has to be supported with ongoing education and emotional support for kids. These efforts help break cycles before they harden and give young people a real chance at healthier futures.
People going around robbing the homeless. Yeah, people being woken up by getting kicked in the face and getting robbed.
In a vibrant city like San Diego, where housing costs and wages often don't line up, investing in mental health education also reduces stigma and builds empathy, turning judgment into understanding and frustration into action. All of these challenges, substance use, safety fears, mental health struggles, don't reveal flaws in individuals so much as they expose gaps in our systems. Public spaces work better for everyone when outreach teams are consistently present, connecting people to help instead of just moving them along. Homeless in America, especially in cities like San Diego, calls on us to act before crises explode, not after. The big question is, how can expanded education and support programs give more people the tools they need to overcome these obstacles and fully participate in their communities? By tackling core issues like economic security, access to care, and mental health support, we lay the groundwork for safer, more inclusive neighborhoods. And that naturally leads to another key factor: unemployment. Unemployment, the silent destroyer of lives. When you look closely at what drives homelessness in San Diego, unemployment stands out as a quiet but devastating force. It doesn't always grab headlines, but it steadily wears people down until there's nothing left to fall back on. Losing a job isn't just about losing a paycheck. It's about losing a sense of security, identity, and control. For many, that moment becomes the first step in a slow, painful slide toward homelessness, where stability feels further and further out of reach. Right now, the unemployment rate in San Diego County hovers around 3.9%. It's slightly lower than last month, but still higher than this time last year, a sign that the economy is still uneven and fragile for many. Behind that number are real people. Workers in hospitality, retail, and construction industries, known for lower pay and little cushion, are especially vulnerable. Many of them are already living paycheck to paycheck, barely keeping up with rent, groceries, and gas. When a job disappears, there's no safety net. Evictions follow, and housing insecurity quickly tips into full-blown homelessness. For seniors and others on fixed incomes, rising prices can be just as brutal. Rent hikes and higher costs of living can push them out of homes they've had for years, leaving them with nowhere affordable to go. Unemployment is often the final shove that pushes someone over the edge. Once they're out of work and out of housing, the gap they have to bridge can feel impossible. People slip through the cracks and find it incredibly hard to climb back out. Yes, there have been encouraging gains like reductions in homelessness among veterans and youth, but without steady, livable wage jobs, too many people are still being pulled deeper into the crisis. Beneath it all are bigger forces, stagnant wages, rising poverty, and a cost of living that keeps outpacing income. For residents already on the margin, one setback becomes a landslide. Older adults are getting hit especially hard. Many are facing health problems that make it difficult or impossible to keep working. After decades of paying into the system, they're finding themselves on the edge of homelessness for the first time. Their stories are painful, long lives of effort, only to end up focused solely on survival. It makes you wonder, what if we invested more intentionally in job training, targeted support, and safety nets for people at risk, including seniors, low-wage workers, and those with disabilities? Could that stop more people from losing their homes in the first place? Statewide, California's unemployment rate is a bit higher than San Diego's, and the recovery has been uneven. San Diego's economy, powered by tourism tech and the military, has created big opportunities for some while leaving others behind. Low-wage workers face extra roadblocks, expensive childcare, unreliable transit, and relentless rent increases. These pressures trap people in a cycle of unstable work, missed payments, eviction, and homelessness. And once they're in that cycle, it's brutally hard to break free. There is hope, though. Programs that combine job placement with housing support have shown real success, helping people move off the streets and stay off. These initiatives don't just provide a temporary fix, they offer a path forward. But unless we tackle the deeper issues, low wages, high costs, and job insecurity, we're treating symptoms instead of the disease. Unemployment is not just a number in a report. It's the quiet force that can unravel a life. Until we make systemic changes, more people will be swept into this crisis. Breaking the cycle will require investing in those who are most vulnerable with job training, truly affordable housing, and strong mental health support. Only then can communities like San Diego begin to heal, and only then can we start rewriting the story of what it means to be homeless in America. The growing struggle of San Diego's housing crisis. San Diego's homelessness emergency is rooted in one hard fact: the city simply doesn't have enough affordable housing. A place once seen as full of opportunity has slowly turned into a city where even basic shelter feels out of reach for many. Over time, the housing market has drifted further and further away from everyday people, with home prices soaring and rents climbing to punishing levels. For families already hanging on by a thread, this has pushed their finances to the breaking point. The numbers paint a troubling picture. Home prices across the region have nearly doubled in just a few years, and rents keep rising, trapping families in a tightening squeeze. For a growing share of residents, housing now eats up more than 30% of their income, and for many, far more. Once that line is crossed, every month becomes a balancing act of bills, debt, and difficult choices. Those who are forced to spend more than half of what they earn on rent live on a razor's edge, one crisis away from eviction and eventually homelessness. The shortage of truly affordable housing has turned into a full-blown crisis. Thousands of additional units are needed just to begin meeting demand, yet new construction moves at a crawl. And when new buildings do rise, they're often priced so high that low and moderate income families are locked out from the start. Restrictive zoning, long approval processes, and steep development fees create huge barriers for anyone trying to build affordable homes. The result is a market that works for the few while leaving everyone else scrambling. Older adults are being hit especially hard. Seniors now make up a growing share of San Diego's homeless population. Many rely on fixed incomes that haven't kept up with skyrocketing housing and living costs. The math simply doesn't work anymore, and people who once never imagined losing their homes are suddenly facing homelessness late in life. Federal funding gaps make it even harder to respond, while construction costs in California are nearly double those in many other states, further limiting what can realistically be built. Attempts to preserve the affordable units that do exist have struggled to keep pace with demand. The human toll is everywhere. Families pack into overcrowded apartments or motels. Individuals bounce from couch to couch or shelter to street. For too many, the idea of having a stable place to call home feels less like a goal and more like a dream slipping away. Yet even amid all this, there's still room for hope. If policymakers can streamline zoning rules, reduce unnecessary barriers, and prioritize affordability, it could unlock the potential for more housing that regular people can actually afford. But that raises a tough question. If housing is a basic human need, even a basic human right, why are we allowing so many obstacles to stay in the way? As San Diego wrestles with this housing emergency, the need for systemic change has never been more urgent. Without a serious expansion of affordable housing, more residents will be pushed onto the streets or forced into overcrowded, unsafe living situations. In the larger story of homeless in America, what San Diego chooses to do next will matter. The time for real sustained action is now. Pathways to Progress, a glimmer of hope for homelessness in San Diego. San Diego's homelessness crisis continues to unfold. Under the weight of one undeniable truth, the city simply doesn't have enough affordable housing. What was once a symbol of opportunity has become a place where even basic shelter feels out of reach. Home prices have nearly doubled in just a few years. Rents keep climbing, and thousands of families are now spending more than 30%, sometimes more than half of their income, just to keep a roof overhead. One unexpected bill or job loss can push them straight toward eviction and ultimately homelessness. The lack of affordable housing has escalated into a full-blown emergency. New construction lags far behind demand, and when buildings do go up, they're often priced far beyond what regular families can afford. Seniors on fixed incomes are being hit especially hard, finding themselves priced out and facing homelessness late in life. Meanwhile, overcrowding, couch surfing, and unstable living conditions have become the norm for many. Yet even in the middle of this crisis, San Diego is making slow but meaningful progress. State and local efforts, from Governor Newsom's new housing and homelessness agency to the Encampment Resolution Funding Program, are shifting the approach toward long-term solutions. Local initiatives like safe sleeping and safe parking programs offer structure and stability, while larger plans aim to end homelessness within 5 years through housing-first strategies and personalized care. But the road ahead is uncertain. Rising unemployment, budget cuts, and high construction costs threaten to undo the gains already made. Still, innovative ideas such as co-housing for seniors and streamlined building processes offer hope. Addressing homeless in America, especially in a city like San Diego, requires more than policy. It demands empathy, persistence, and a commitment to ensuring every person has a place to belong. The choices made now will determine whether the city builds barriers or builds a future where no one is left behind. The path toward change homelessness in San Diego. Homelessness in San Diego has been a long-running crisis, and while there are clear signs of improvement, the problem remains deeply rooted in the community. Recent numbers showing a slight decline in the homeless population are encouraging, but they don't mean the crisis is over, not by a long shot. The forces driving homelessness are complex and intertwined: personal loss, economic strain, health challenges, and a severe shortage of affordable housing. Expanded shelter capacity, strategic planning, and increased funding are important steps, but they can't carry the weight alone. Real lasting progress demands more than better policies. It requires a shift in how we see and talk about homelessness. Each person without a home is more than a figure in a report. They have a past, relationships, hopes, and dignity that deserve recognition. If we want change that sticks, we have to invest not just money, but empathy, attention, and a sense of shared responsibility. The progress made in recent years offers a reason to hope. Collaboration between policymakers, service providers, residents, and advocacy groups is starting to move the needle. But solving homelessness in San Diego and across the broader landscape of homeless in America will never be as simple as passing a single law or launching one program. It will take steady long-term commitment and a belief that no one is beyond help. The future will be shaped by the choices we make right now. We can build barriers or we can build bridges. We can look away or we can lean in and help create a community where everyone has a place to belong. If San Diego chooses connection over indifference, it can become a model for how a city transforms a long-standing crisis into a story of shared resilience and change, one life at a time.